Are you thinking about hiring a virtual assistant for your Amazon arbitrage business? If you are, then this is the video you want to watch, because I'm going to explain everything you need to know and my personal thoughts on whether it's worth it or not. Stay tuned. Right, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson, and I've been sitting on Amazon now doing online arbitrage for the last 5 years. Now in the UK, I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller, and in the USA, I'm also a 7-figure Amazon seller. And hopefully in the near future, I'm going to expand into another marketplace. And if you're interested in learning how I'm doing it and what I'm learning on my journey, do make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. But hey, enough about me. What are we going to talk about today? First things first, number one, I'll give you a little bit of a backstory, why we're making the video. Number two, I'll talk about what is a virtual assistant. Number three, I'm going to talk about what are the roles I can hire for my Amazon business, and obviously you can think about as well. Number four, I'm going to talk about how much does it actually cost to hire a VA, what associated costs with it. And then finally, number five, I'm going to answer the question, is it actually worth hiring an Amazon virtual assistant? So let's get started. So like I said earlier, I've been selling on Amazon now, doing online arbitrage for the last 5 years. And basically, online arbitrage is when you are buying products online at a low price to also resell them high on Amazon for a profit. Now, when we say online arbitrage, every transaction and the nature of the business in itself happens online. Now, you might be asking how much I'm making in this kind of business. As I mentioned earlier on, if you say in my USA business, we've recently broken the 7-figure mark, which I'm super happy about. Now, if you follow my journey and know what I've done and the way I've built that business up, we really started it off probably over a year ago and built it up, probably about 10 months ago that I stepped out of the business, or should I say pretty much operationally. We had one purchasing manager, 3 sourcing VAs and 1 admin VA. We've recently just hired more sources into that business, but we were pretty much going up to the million mark with just those 3 sources. Now, if you look at the graph, you can kind of see that we're doing about 120,000 in sales just across those 3 sources for probably like 2 months pretty consistently. Then we peaked up, and actually that's probably start of the new staff coming in. Now, if you put it this way, 120,000 in revenue in my US business, we're not the most profitable in the world. We do about 10% net margin. That's net after everything else. So costs, everything, that's what I get to take home. So 120,000 divided by the 3 sources, and they're the only people finding deals. Each of them are finding about $40,000 worth of deals that we can resell for $40,000 worth of sales. And each of those sources obviously is making $40,000 gross income. And then obviously 10% of that per source is going to be $4,000 actual net profit. Already included in that 10%, but obviously you can consider it, the actual cost of the VA per month is going to be about £500 or $500, say. So pretty much it's already included. That VA, once they're actually up and running, when they're doing really well, and you can see that graph, we've had 3 from the beginning, they will literally start finding new deals, and we got to the point whereby we were able to get to 40,000 a month in sales, which is 1 year down the line with a very successful business driving up to $1 million. And I think, as a realistic expectation, you could probably get it down to 10,000 as a normal expectation within, a couple of months of them starting, looking at the year, going into the year, and potentially get up to 40,000, which I think is incredible. And obviously work on 10% net profit after that. Then obviously looking at quite a nice little sum that you can bring home. But again, if you look back at the previous months, when we were doing like 30, going up to 40, 50, 60, the Novembers, the Decembers, the Januaries, that's when they're probably doing about 10,000 a month each in sales from the deals that they're finding. To give you a rough calculation, within our business, we look at generally about 10,000 a month when they get started. After, month 3, month 4, month 5, but we have seen with the right systems and the right setup, you can get it even up to 40, which is what we did to grow the $1 million. Now, after learning quite simply how much I'm making on Amazon doing online arbitrage and obviously in sales, you might be asking how I'm managing to grow it this big. Well, we hire virtual assistants, we hire a team to do the tasks in my Amazon business. They focus on, making that business operate day to day. What do? Well, I become a business owner. I'm working on my business rather than in it, and also as well, traveling the world. And I really enjoy that as well. Now, what I will say is if you want to learn more about the virtual assistants, and do obviously stay tuned to the end of this, because I will share everything throughout this video today. Okay, so today I'm talking about virtual assistants and within my business and how much they're costing me and the revenue and the profitability we're making on them. But I'm really interested to learn, we're doing online arbitrage, but what are you doing? What kind of business model is it? Retail arbitrage, wholesale, private label? Let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what business model you're doing. I'd love to know. Now, this leads me nicely on to the second chapter. What is a virtual assistant? Basically, a virtual assistant provides different services to clients whilst generally operating outside of that client's office. What do? Well, they help you. They take some of the burden off your shoulders so that you're free to focus on working on the bigger projects, maybe the more revenue generating, the important thing, which are going to really help grow that business and also help you scale and also maybe have more time for yourself and your family. Now, this leads me nicely on to what are the roles, say, a virtual assistant can do within, say, an Amazon business and my Amazon business. Now, you might be asking those tasks, what are they that you can outsource? Well, so number one, first things first, is product sourcing. And as you might all know, product sourcing is the most time-consuming part of any Amazon business, especially mine. That's why we have a large pool of VAs that can dedicate their time, 8 hours a day, looking for products to buy at a low price that they can resell high on Amazon, obviously for a profit, which is going to obviously make my business a profit and also free up my time. Sourcing is the hardest part. In addition to that, a sourcing VA can help you look for products which also align with your criteria and the category you want to focus on, and then even help you determine like where to go and what's working, what voucher code, what market trend, what selling products are working, and also what competitors you want to stay away from. And also, because they're doing 8 hours a day, they can get the domain knowledge and actually they can become better than you because they just have the practice, which I absolutely love. Now, the second one we can do, apart from sourcing, which is the first, is administrative. And I talked about it within my business setup before. An admin VA can assist you in tasks which are going to be repetitive, such as accounts, shipments, inventory management, financial management, product listing, FBA orders. Fundamentally, if you want to know more about that and how we structure them and what we do, I'll drop a link up above called administrative tasks that your VA can do for you. Check that out. That's going to really help you out. And that's going to how we actually trained and maximize our admin VAs. And there's a sheet you can get in that as well, which will really talk around the KPIs that we put behind it. Now, the third and the final task that we can outsource, and again, you saw it with my structure of my team, is we have the sources, we have the admin, but above that, we have the purchasing. So the purchasing manager or the purchaser. Basically, a purchaser not only does the purchasing for you, but is also responsible for reviewing the deals that your sources submit, making sure they are actually what they think they are, checking the listing, for example, but also as well, analyzing the risk, making sure that the keeper charts are right, how many to buy, doing all that kind of information, but then also keeping records of the deals for replenishment, setting minimum prices, daily reports, monitoring the profits of the pricer, but also as well, just managing the team on a day-to-day basis. So that means I can have a holiday, which I think is absolutely important because the business has to keep going even when I'm on holiday or even sick. Now, that leads me nicely on to, should we say, the big question that a lot of people are asking me is how much will it cost me to hire a VA? Well, quite simply, within FastTrackFBA, we run the VA Academy, whereby we've hired over 550 VAs for 300 clients. We charge in the UK £850, and in the US we charge $1,000, just shy of that. That allows us to find, hire, train, and support a VA within your business for 12 weeks. That means if you have any problems, you can get in contact with us and we'll support you. And also, if you have problems with VA and you're not getting on, we even offer, should we say, unlimited replacements within those 12 weeks. And if you're on top of that, even if you're not happy on top of that, you then also as well get a free refund if you're not happy and you're not happy with the experience. So it's a completely no-brainer option. In fact, we do that. Now, in addition to this, we use the same, should we say, hiring service within my own businesses. We hire from FastTrackFBA to do it. And then in addition to that, we also have an aftercare service. And in addition to that, we support it with our MBA workbook, whereby it's all our SOPs, all our bonus schemes, everything we do. Even have interviews with my team to learn about team culture and what you can do. The structures, the systems about building Amazon businesses, basically copying what I've done. Now, if you're interested in, should we say, hiring a VA and you're thinking about it, what I'll do is I'll drop a video up here from a good friend of mine who used the service, ironically, when we really first opened, actually. And he did a review of his experience of it. Check that out. And also he talks about not only just the experience, but also how it's changed his business. And this is the same for so many of our clients who keep coming back. So I think it's absolutely amazing. So check that video out. Okay, so I'm just talking about virtual assistants and growing businesses. Now, the one thing which I see within Amazon, there are really two types of sellers. There are the types of sellers who want to do it all themselves. They look for all the deals themselves, they do it all, and they have no problem with that. But also as well, there is another type of seller. They build a team because they understand that at the end of the day, they just don't have the time. And if they don't have the time, the business is going to go up, down, and you see that so often. Now, if you are interested and you want to see more, do check out the link down below, fasttrackfba.com/VA. That's going to really help you out in understanding whether you're going to be right for us. And you can even book in a free call down there. But trust me, depends what type of seller you are. If you're not the kind of person who wants to build a VA and do it yourself, absolutely fine. But if you understand that maybe you've got other commitments, maybe you don't have time, but you've got the money, then certainly our service is really going to help you. So have a look at the link down below. Trust me, it'll be game changing for you if you are thinking about building this business and taking it seriously. Now, this leads me on to my fifth chapter and really my personal thoughts about hiring a VA. Now, you might be asking, is really a VA worth it? And, like I said, and I just talked about, over my 5 years of selling on Amazon, it's been generally an amazing experience. What can I recommend? At the end of the day, when I first started, I was doing it all myself, and that was absolutely fine. We grew, it was fine, but I just got a bit frustrated. I got bored, and I realized that actually I was probably the biggest problem. It'd be like one week I would source a lot, great, sales would go up, and then the next week I was busy, maybe I had things going on in life, and actually my business went down again. And I just started to realize that I was struggling to gain traction within my business. I really liked the model, I could see where it's going, and I really wanted to make it successful. But my problem was that kind of stop, start. And I won't lie, I hired VAs to start with, and the first couple of VAs I got, we got it wrong. We really got it wrong. I've hired bad VAs, I've hired VAs and they haven't paid me money when I thought they were. We've hired VAs who've had lazy, I've had VAs who've had like their house blown off. Like there's so many problems, and there was no one to turn to. There was no one to say, I'm having this problem, whereby what do I do? Or I'm thinking of doing this. And I see that so often, even to this day, which is hilarious because there's so much help out there to support you. As I went through my journey, and by the way, if you follow it, I've been doing it 5 years now and I haven't been successful for 5 years. My first year, I lost money. But the interesting thing was that after about 3 years in, I really took it seriously. I focused, I had no other kind of work to do. I focused, doubled down on this business. I hired my VAs, did it really well. We built up towards $1 million. People are asking me, Tom, you seem to be doing really well. Can you hire a VA for me? That's how the whole VA Academy started. And it started because other people were having trouble doing this. But I think, coming back to the whole kind of question around, is it worth it? If you are the kind of person who wants to do everything yourself, maybe save, £500 here, $1,000 here to potentially save that money, I think that's not worth it. I think your time's more valuable. You're going to make more money if you just spend a week sourcing rather than 2 weeks dealing with VAs. But if that's the kind of person you are, then sure, go hire a VA, do it yourself, not a problem. But if you're someone who's probably got some money and realize that you don't have time and you really want to take your business seriously, and maybe even you're seeing that kind of the sales chart where it's not a nice growth curve, it's up, down, up, down, up, down. I see that all the time. That's because of inconsistency. That's because they're not consistent in your business. And that's when a VA will really help you. Why? Because it will just help you consistently have deals and you'll just start seeing that growth come up. Will it happen overnight? No. Will it happen over the course of the next couple of months? Of course. This is what we do. We've done it time and time again for so many sellers. Now, what I will say is after talking about Amazon VAs and are they worth it, are they not, and when you might want to, when you might not, what I'll do is I'll drop a video around here called How We Interview Amazon Virtual Assistants, which can give you an idea of the kind of when I used to do all the interviewing myself, and now we have 5 recruiters, the kind of standards we go through, what we're looking for, and the kind of questions, and also the thought process I'm thinking about when I'm interviewing. So check that out. It makes it very interesting watching. I think it has 70,000 views, so it's a really popular video. So check that out. I think you'll like it. Now, hopefully you've liked this video. If you have, give me a big thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button down below. And finally, if you really like it and you know someone it could help, hit the share button and drop a link over to them. Maybe they can watch it too and say thank you for that. So for myself, Thomas Parkinson and FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.